106.4 Andover Sound.
Talking about the new album, Keep Calm and Carry On, how do you think it's gone down so far? Because it didn't quite make the top 10. Are you a bit miffed about that? How do you feel?
Well, weirdly, the album had like the best reviews we've ever had since the first album. I don't think we were miffed about not getting the top 10. I think we knew when we put the date in that it was a tough week with, I think, 6 of the top 10 being Sony, X Factor associated acts and stuff like that. So we knew we were going to kind of sacrifice a chart position, but it's the only time of year people buy records, unfortunately. You know, record sales have gone a bit weird. We could have gone and released it in January and got our #1 record, but then not so many people go shopping in January. So it's one of those weird transition periods for music. You just have to get your head down, make the best record you can make, and for us, concentrate on the live show until it kind of sorts itself out, really.
I think the X Factor, though, it is really getting on a lot of bands' nerves as well at the minute. What's your kind of angst against it, really?
Well, I mean, every dog has its day, and I think there's room for lots of things in life. I think it's always been hard for bands, but I think at the minute, I mean, you look at the top 50 videos of the top 50 records in the chart, I mean, there's very little live bands in that, you know. 3 years ago it was all kids in skinny jeans playing indie music. I mean, it goes around in cycles, so you can't get too caught up about it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make it easier for new bands developing, and, you know, I think that's a bit scary because record companies want a quick fix, they want a quick buck to compete with all this type of stuff, so they don't throw money into acts to develop. And so I think we can see it for what it is, and you have to look long term, but I think for younger bands I think it's very, very difficult now. You have to accept that it goes around in cycles, and I think you have to concentrate on what you do as a band, really. I mean, if you concentrate, you know, on your songwriting or how you produce the sound of your band or how you produce the sound of your demos or whatever, then you have to trust your gut feelings, really. I mean, if you try to accommodate what's fashionable, then it's not really from your soul, it's not really from your heart. You're just trying to do something to get on that bandwagon. And we've never really jumped on any bandwagon, and we've always sounded like Stereophonics, and sometimes it's worked for us and sometimes it hasn't worked for us. But at least you have a true following, you know, and you have a true sense of where you're going and what you are, you know what I mean? We never sound like anybody else except us. You either love it or you hate it, so just stick to your guns, really.
There seems to be no stopping you at the minute, though, because sell-out tours, gigs. The Isle of Wight last year was immense. The crowd just went mental.
It's pretty much what the band does. I mean, I think we finish every cycle, and then soon after that we start recording an album, and as soon as that finishes we start promoting it and so on. And we always do things in between, obviously, like either putting a greatest hits album out or live album. But yeah, I think you have to stay in the game nowadays. I mean, there's so many bands around as well, and you have to keep relevant, and as long as everyone's hungry in the band, then you keep producing stuff.
I suppose it brings me back to the PR trail as well, because it does seem really relentless that kind of everybody wants to know what you're doing. It must be quite difficult to grin and bear it, really, and keep on doing it.
I think you just have to make it a laugh, really. I think when we brought the Decade in the Sun thing out, the greatest hits, I mean, that's the first time we'd ever put ourselves on a front cover. That's the first time we'd done, you know, all the kind of mainstream television and radio stuff. And, you know, we accepted the fact if we're going to put out a celebratory kind of record of 10 years of our catalogue, then you may as well do it with a smile on our face and do it, you know, properly. You know, there's no point just sticking it out there and hope it ends up in the bargain bin. You may as well try and go for it, you know. So I think by doing that we learned a lot. We realised how much people loved our catalogue of music. We realised how people perceived us differently after we did kind of show our personalities on the telly a bit more. And I think from that point on we just said, well, you know, I don't think it needs to be as separated from the public as maybe we did it in the past, really.
And you've done the same this time around with Keep Calm and Carry On, right there on the front cover. Very glamorous as well, very kind of noticed on the Twitter that all the chicks have noticed that you're quite good-looking guys and you're getting lots of attention now.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that glamorous on the day. We were up to our arse in water, but it was an actual real photo shoot. I think, you know, we changed record companies from V2 to Mercury, and, you know, we had to work hard to get a family of people behind us because we've been so used to having, you know, a family of 10 years of people, which were kind of all fired and let go, and, you know, it was quite a strange time for us to have to pull the pin. So I think they wanted to try to convince us that that part of the band also sells as much as the music. So again, you try to get good photographers and good people taking pictures that you like as much as they like, and then you kind of come to a compromise in the middle.
Yeah, that's why I brought Kevin along, so he can doctor the pictures later on. Let's talk about the album then, Keep Calm and Carry On. And the next single, Could You Be the One, released on February the 15th. I've noticed listening to the album, because I've listened to all of them, that this one's a bit more personal and a bit more family orientated. Am I right in saying that it's written about, you know, maybe your partner or your children?
I think, you know, the album, like any album, is written over usually a period of about 10, 12 months while touring another album. So the songs on an album, they've never really got one overriding theme. I mean, they connect with each other and stuff like that, but I think Could You Be the One, it was kind of a little kind of campfire song originally, and then when I did the demo, they put like a little bass line which was a bit Joy Division, and then all these kind of reverb things, and it turned into something quite a beautiful sound. So it fitted the term, you know, the sentiment of the lyric really. So yeah, I think every song is different, and you have to kind of make them sound like what they mean, you know what I mean? And I think that's the beauty of songwriting. You just let it come out, and what it means you kind of work out later a lot of the time, you know.
Now, loads of gigs coming up over the next few weeks. Which is the main one that you're most looking forward to, Javier?
A few ones, actually. I think we're really looking forward to do Europe. And I know, like, Holland is going to be great, and Paris. I mean, all those places are great to play. But also, I mean, we have great stuff coming in the UK. I mean, playing again on the O2 is going to be brilliant. I mean, last time we played, it was a fantastic show for us. And now that we're going to do the Cardiff Stadium as well on June, that's going to be great. So there's lots of things we're actually looking forward to. I think we've been... Obviously, every time you do an album, you have a long waiting time until it actually comes out, and then by the time you actually hit the arenas or the pops or whatever you play in them, it's a long time. So you really can't wait to get out on the stage and start playing the new songs.
So when is the rest coming then in this part of the year? When are you going to get time off and maybe look at writing again, if you're not doing it already?
Well, yeah, I think that we are looking forward to throwing ourselves into the live thing again. I think the band's got to that point where, you know, we've been rehearsing all this week, and we've been going through 7 albums worth of material, so there's a lot of songs to pick from, and we've made a set that we're all excited about playing. Even the old songs we've chose, we haven't played for a long time, so we're doing new old songs, so to speak. And we're doing the new stuff off the record, and I think we're just going to enjoy it. We realise the tour is going to take us through to like next September, and along that way we're just going to try to make it as
That was Richard.
as we can, really.
You're a bit late. Did you? Nice work. Well done. Well, thanks ever so much for talking to us, and I hope it's brilliant tonight. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure the crowd will go absolutely mental, as they always do. And good luck for the rest of the year. I hope to see you at the festivals. Which one?
I don't know if that's been announced yet, but we are in Britain for 4 summer festivals, but which ones I can't tell you, unless I can tell you. Can I tell you?
Tell us one. Tell us one. Go on.
I think we're doing...
Give us an exclusive.
I don't know. Oxygen?
Yes.
I think we're doing that Ireland.
I'll acknowledge that.
Yeah?
Could you be the one?
106.4 Andover Sound.